So welcome to the final community meeting for the Randol Mill Hazardous Road Overtopping Mitigation Project. This is the final meeting before construction starts. Construction should be starting in approximately a week. This meeting is being recorded. If you can, please sign in by posting your name, company, phone number, and email in the chat so we have a record of that. And also, please mute yourself except when you're asking questions at the end of the presentation. So I'm the project manager for this project, Bert Guidry. We have an assistant project manager, Hannah Bosnet, who could not make it this evening. Our project engineer, Mark Galvan, with Half Associates, is in the meeting, and contractor for this project is Charlie Klutz with Klutz Construction. Here is a QR code and a web address for the city webpage. If at any time you have questions about the project, what phase it's in, you can go to the website and get some information on it. So here's the general project location. It's on Randol Mill, east of 820. 820 is right here. Interstate 30 is right here. And the project is on Randol Mill on the east side of Loop 820. The project limits start from Territory Trail, which this is kind of an old aerial, but you can see it's under construction here. So this is Territory Trail. We're a little bit west of that, where we begin the project, and it extends approximately to Golden Eye on the east side. You can see this is a floodplain, 100-year floodplain. You can see it overtops the road here. There's a culvert crossing. There's two culvert crossings, one western culvert crossing and one eastern one. So the creek comes from the south side, currently crosses to the north side, and then crosses again to the south side, and it gets overtopped in this area. So the purpose of the project, since during the intense rainfall events, you get overtopping the roadway. The purpose is to construct improvements to mitigate the overtopping of the roadway, because that is a life safety concern. Here's a couple of a video that was shot by one of the residents in the area from a storm a few years ago, as well as some pictures. You can see on the left, this is actually Randol Mill Road over here, completely flooded. You play the video. This is their driveway, and you can see a rescue boat going down basically the roadway. So it's pretty badly flooded. And on the right, here's a roadway that got a car that got washed off the roadway during the same event. So here's a couple of pictures of the two culvert crossings that were in the previous slide, or a previous slide. Here we have a picture of the culvert that's on the east side, where the creek crosses from the north to the south, and then here's on the bottom the culvert on the west side, where the creek crosses from the south to the north. So the project scope, the main purpose of the project is to mitigate the stormwater overtopping the roadway. And so to accomplish that, that includes a realignment of the roadway to relocate it away from the creek, and also raise the roadway profile. Also, this would include constructing channel improvements that would include a new culvert under Williams Road and elimination of the two crossings on Randol Mill Road. And we would also be adding additional culverts and storm drain lines for the roadway drainage. Other improvements not necessarily related directly to the stormwater improvements, but other improvements with the project would be sidewalks. We'll be replacing older water lines, extending sewer lines. There will be gas line relocations as well as electrical. We will add trail improvements at Mallard Cove Park. And another good improvement, I think that will help traffic quite a bit. We'll be adding a center turn lane to the roadway section. So this slide shows, here you see in blue, the creek as it runs and crosses Randall Mill Road twice. Randall Mill, the existing alignment, is in the red here. Here we have in green the proposed roadway alignment with the connection to Trinity Court, Williams Road on the south, and Mockingbird Estates over here, Territory Trail. The existing roadway, if you recall, was further to the south down here. So all of this new roadway is being pushed to the north away from the floodplain. Mallard Cove Park will be adding trails along the perimeter of Mallard Cove Park, as well as sidewalks on the east side, the north side of the roadway on the east side of the project, and also on the south side of the roadway on the west side of the project, as well as sidewalks along Mockingbird Estates and Williams Road. This shows the creek crossing at Williams Road that's being extended north. We have this new culvert there to convey the drainage. Also, we will have a new water line. It'll follow the existing roadway alignment, so it'll be a similar location to where it is now, but it'll be a new pipe. And we will have a sanitary sewer extension further to the west. And then we will have culvert crossing, a few culvert crossings here, the main one here, some driveway culverts, and then curb inlets and an underground storm drain system to convey the drainage to the creek. So the ultimate section for Randall Mill would include 2 eastbound lanes, 2 westbound lanes, and a center turn lane. But this being a flood mitigation project, our purpose isn't to build the roadway, it's to mitigate the stormwater overtopping the roadway. So we are going to go ahead and build basically half of that section. So with this project, we'll have an eastbound lane, a westbound lane, and a center turn lane. So in the future, after this project is done, there'll be another project to come in and basically build the other half of the roadway. But so this project is not going to build the complete section because it's really not a roadway project, it's a flood mitigation project. So what to expect during construction. So if you look on this slide, you'll see existing Randall Mill Road down here. And you can see the traffic arrows showing you have an eastbound traffic and westbound traffic. Also in Trinity Court, you have a northbound and a southbound traffic. This crosshatch area is the construction that would be being performed during this phase. So you can see as they're building the bulk of the project here to the north of Randall Mill, traffic is not impacted. So they can get quite a bit of the construction done without impacting traffic. So that'll be the beginning phase. Move to a little bit later phase. You have the gray area, which is construction that was previously completed in a previous phase. So that's all built. You can see during this phase, there's still traffic along the existing Randall Mill Road. Still traffic going north and southbound on Trinity. However, they're constructing this connection here to the existing Trinity. So the traffic will be shifted to temporary pavement off to the side during this phase. A little bit later phase, now we're constructing the connection on the east side of Randol Road. So traffic is on the new pavement here, but it's shifted off to temporary pavement while they make the connection on the east side. As well on the west side, while they make the connection, traffic will be shifted to temporary pavement on the west side of the project. Then in the final stages, building driveway connections on the east side, as well as Ben's Trail and Williams down here on the south side, making those connections. So with that, here is my contact information. If you have questions or concerns, you can give me a phone call or email me, either way. And once again, here's the QR code to the city website, as well as the address for it. So with that, we will go ahead and take any questions.
I saw the new water line. Where's the new sewer line?
Let me go back to that slide. It's basically a short extension, bringing it to the west to this point. It's not a whole lot. It's just an extension. So let me see. Can someone read the chat questions for me?
Yes, I was getting
Okay.
the first one. Just so you know, I did get asked if this video is being recorded, and I responded that yes, and I provided the project link in the chat for anyone who is not quite sure how to access the project page on the city's website. And then it'll also be available tomorrow on the city's YouTube channel. The first question is, how does this affect access to Mallard Cove? And then another question was, what is the timeline for the project?
So I think the project was 450 days. I'd have to check the contract to be exact. Might be 455. It's basically, I think, 15 months. Let's see. Yeah, about 450 days.
Did you have
And
with the
so there will be access to Mallard Cove Park. If you look at the slide here, you can see that when we build the connection from the for the new entrance to Mallard Cove Park, traffic will have to be shifted to temporary pavement.
Bert,
So,
sorry to interrupt you, but the question that Sharon asked was specifically around Mallard Cove, the community, our two entrances to the 225 home community, not the park.
oh, I see. Is that further to the east here?
Yeah, that's the two streets you see where the green line ends and the one right before it. Those two entrances have yeah, yes, sir.
So let me go to that slide.
Sorry to speak for Sharon, but she's a neighbor.
Sure.
I knew what she was asking.
Yeah, this picture doesn't quite show it all. Let me.
Thank you, Benjamin.
Let me see if I can get a more complete picture for you real quick. Oh, doesn't quite show it all there. Hey, Mark, are you on the line? Mark Galvin. Basically, you have temporary pavement there. Unfortunately, the picture isn't complete here. Let me see if I can get a better picture for you.
Bert, I know you can't see the chat, but Mark answered you that he's on the call. We just can't hear him for some reason.
Okay. Yeah, so this shows a better picture of the phasing in there. While they build this connection, you have this existing strip of pavement in the front. And so we'll have temporary pavement basically transitioning to the previous to this. Does that make sense? You can see this is temporary pavement right here. And this is what's being constructed. So when that's happening, you'll be driving on this temporary pavement for access.
Is that in front of Mallard Cove, what you're showing us?
Yeah, well, so in front you have that strip of pavement that is basically
Yes.
that road that no one's using basically. So that will be used for access while they build the other side of the road, the eastbound side.
Is that strip of pavement going to be left once the project is done?
That, let me flip to that pavement sheet. So because it's wider, it won't be left.
Okay.
So this shows the final pavement in that area. So you have the connection at Flyway, at Golden Eye, and so the roadway kind of gets wider here, so that wasn't able to be left.
Okay.
Hey, Bert, are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
And there was something about raising the roadway. It's already higher now than where we come in on when we enter off of Flyway or Golden Eye. It's already up. The roadway's already higher. Is it going to be even higher than that?
The part of the roadway we're right here, we're going to basically, we have to connect to the existing roadway. So we're going to be pretty much at the same grade at this point. Where we're raising it is when it gets closer to the creek. Let me see if I can show you a profile. So this is the west side. So this is the profile. We're the solid line is the future.
Okay.
So you can see we're matching grade on the west side, then we're gradually getting higher relative to the existing road as we move further east. Then we're in a lot of fill as we move further east. But then we're going to taper back down as we get to the end of the project and tie back into the existing.
That was a concern for some of us because it's already a little bit of a kind of a upgrade. So thank you.
Right. Okay. You're welcome.
Bert, did you have a slide that lists when construction will start and how long it goes? There have been a couple of questions about that, and I couldn't recall that slide.
No, so construction will start next week is what we're shooting for, next Monday, starting clearing. And there's a 450-day duration. There will be approximately a 30-day pause in there because after they start clearing, then there's going to be a pause in the construction time so that franchise utilities can get relocated, and then they'll resume again. So it's going to be approximately 480 days from the beginning to the end.
Okay. And then a question from Benjamin Robertson. Will the new roadway be concrete, designed to handle the heavy truck traffic we have been experiencing?
Yes, if you look at this image here, the light gray is concrete. The darker gray is asphalt, and the reason it's asphalt is that's transitioning back to the existing roadway. But the bulk of it, if I flip through the slides, you can see the bulk of it's concrete except at the ends where we transition back to the existing roadway.
Awesome. I thought that's what I had seen on the screen, but I was just looking for verification because Sharon and I are getting asked a lot of questions about that as well.
Sure.
Benjamin, did you have more questions you wanted to ask?
More of a statement, and I don't remember, Bert, if any of, actually, I don't think anybody at the city was involved when we did the last asphalt overtopping for all of Randall Mill, but we some of us leaders and Councilwoman Bivens and a few others had to get involved because we had quite a few of near fatalities. We have on this road, we have a lot of transients that roll through from other areas, and they were ignoring the one-way issues and the temporary traffic pieces. And so, just as a general overall statement, as one of the directors of Mallard Cove Community Group, we just need to make sure that we're hosting some pretty intense conversations with the NPO and with signage and with the construction firm. Nothing that made sense happened during that asphalt overlay, and it wasn't a City of Fort Worth issue or the construction firm's issue. It was people coming through that were trying to be smarter than what we were doing. But having the Randall Mill traffic is probably 4 times what it was when we did that project, and so I'm very concerned that we stay in front of active signage and police oversight for this stretch while it's affecting main lanes of traffic. I know the benefit of this one is a lot of it can be built before it ties in. So that's going to be great. But when we get to the points where we're penetrating main lanes, having experienced it, what we went through before, we need to be way in front of neighborhood communication plans. And it's more than just the residents on the stretch. It's a bunch of people using it as a cut through because of the highway traffic.
Right. Okay.
Is the contractor on to, we can ensure that they are reaching out to, well, we have permit office and neighborhood police and to all the normal partners to be sure everyone's in the loop and working together.
And I would just add to what Benjamin was saying that Randall Mill is a primary alternate route between Cook's Lane coming off of I-30 and 820. And even for Precinct Line, we get a lot of alternate traffic, especially during rush hours. So that's what he's talking about, especially with, adequate signage and letting people know.
Right. Right.
The digital message boards, going up already, Bert, like this week, or like detour signs, maybe speak to that.
There won't be, I don't know when he's going to put the message boards out. Is Charlie, are you in the meeting right now? I can't see who's in the meeting. But there won't be any detours at this point because basically they're going to be clearing some future right of way, or it's future alignment of the roadway under the new right of way. So they're going to be doing that clearing, so there won't be any disruptions to traffic. It'll be off the roadway basically. It'll be in the early phase. We go back to this. They'll be clearing this area, so it won't be impacting traffic.
And do you anticipate that through the end of this year?
They will take, I think they were going to clear that and probably finish this clearing in January so that then Atmos and Encore can come in and do some utility relocates early, sometime in January through February, and then they would resume clearing further down. And with the remainder of the construction, probably in February.
And then at that point, so for the folks asking, then at that point, Bert, the contractor would then, if they're going to start closing lanes or detouring traffic, at that point, then electronic message boards and signs would be what we would use.
Right. And most of the impacts to traffic are going to be in the later phases, as we showed when you tie back in on the east side and on the west side.
And this project is a unique animal all on its own, and I really appreciate your leading the conversation, Miss Ingram. I just as we get closer to those pieces, we'll just coordinate with NPO and Deborah Peoples' office and things like that. I just want to try to prevent the headache, because what we ended up doing last time is I think we ended up tripling the amount of electric signs that we put out at every intersection to try to help. And so just from the lessons learned side, when we get to the part where it's going to be a headache, we just need to remember that we're going to have to be a little more in tune with it than we usually would for this type of project.
Understood. And we will make sure to take notes of that, as well as working with Bert and all of our partners to make sure everyone's notified and that we're doing the correct signage that meets the needs of the area.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
I think I saw a couple questions pop up in the chat, but I can't get to the chat. I just saw them pop up, so I can't read them anymore.
Yes, I was consolidating, but we do have new ones.
Okay.
JP said most of the construction is north and will not affect the existing traffic. How long at the end of the project will the temporary pavement be used? And maybe was that the question, or that was related to the temporary road you were showing earlier? I'm not for sure.
Yeah, so I guess I think what he's asking is how long is this condition going to be here? And I'd have to, let me see if I'd really have to refer to the contractor how long this would probably take. Really, I wouldn't want to speculate, but it is towards the end of the project, so it would be the last month or two, probably something like that.
Okay, thank you. And then one of the questions is, and this is a savvy resident who understands traffic and folks choosing to go over the limits at times. So the question is, are there any strategies in the project to address speeding on the road? Widening it may cause speeds to increase. And so that gets into our traffic engineer. And I don't know if Bert, you're able to speak to that.
As far as the speeding, I'm not in traffic enforcement, but I can speak to how this project will help things. So, talking to a resident in our last community meeting, who is in this subdivision, I think off of Flyaway, she was concerned about people coming around this dog leg here and then coming around this bend, and so they can't see that people are stopped trying to turn left into that subdivision. So that condition will go away because, one, we're going to have a center left turn lane going into the subdivision, and two, this new pavement has a much milder curve, so you'll be able to see through the curve. So it will help that condition as to, how often, how is it patrolled, and how are speeds enforced. That's something I can't speak to as far as the design of the project, but it should definitely improve the traffic conditions.
And there are more questions. Will the existing Randol mill that has been rerouted be torn up?
Yes, most of it will be. There will be connections for these lots here where we'll maintain a little piece of it, but most of this will be demolished.
And then one of the questions is, for those of us on the east and west sides of construction, is it possible to receive an actual timeline so we may adequately adjust our schedules? In the chat, I put the project webpage link. It was at 6:11 p.m. And in that project page, if you scroll to the bottom, there is an opportunity to subscribe for updates. And so, Bert, if you'll make a note to be sure when there's, updates to traffic changes or detours, and you let me know those, I can push those out through the website.
Okay.
And folks can also sign up for notifications through our city news. But let me repost the project page, and you just easily sign up through email. I believe that covers the chat questions, but does anyone have more questions? One just came in from Robin. I reside on Williams Road, so I'm assuming there will come a time where I will be unable to use Randol Mill? ?
Well, I'm not sure exactly where, but there will come a time. This piece of Randall Mill that I'm showing right here, this is going to get demolished. So there will come a time when you won't be able to use that, as well as to the west here. This piece here will remain. So as we stated earlier, most of this will be open during most of the construction until we shift traffic to the north. So then you'll be using that part of Randall Mill. We will maintain access. If you're further south on Williams Road, we will maintain access to Randall Mill from Williams Road, if that's your concern. That will remain, there will be access.
And then there's another question about when the project will start. So Bert mentioned it will start next week, but as far as roads being torn up or lanes being closed, Bert, please reiterate for folks that is not the case starting next week, because what happens is you've got a lot of cables and lines that different utilities own. And so next week will be kind of, can you maybe show a map where, off-road and in areas where that work would be taking place? But I believe you said that lanes wouldn't be closed next week.
Correct. Next week, they'll start demolishing things that are in the way of the future roadway. So it's well away from, most of that's going to be well away from the roadway, the existing roadway. So there won't be any impacts to traffic. The purpose of that is there's some utilities that have to get relocated, and they can't relocate until there's a clear path for them. So the first few weeks will be clearing the right of way. Then there will be another month or so where the gas and electric get relocated. Then they would resume with the roadway construction, but most of that even then would be away from the existing roadway. So it'll be well into next year before they have any real impacts to traffic.
Thank you. Will Mallard Cove Park still be accessible from Randol Mill during the construction?
Yes. So you can see right here, this is the beginning phase where they build mostly in this area, but you have temporary pavement that's being built along the side of Trinity Court. And so in the next phase, traffic is shifted to that temporary pavement while they build the connection. So it'll still be accessible.
Are you able to zoom in and maybe point or use your mouse? Someone was not able to see. I think they were having a hard time seeing where you were pointing.
For the last question, I guess. So
Yes, the one about will Mallard Cove Park be accessible from Randall
okay,
Mill
so
during construction? Maybe
I don't
show
know
where
if
that Mallard Park is on that.
it's right here. I don't know if you can see my pointer or not. Oops.
Yes,
Up
I
in the
moving.
upper right hand corner, upper right hand section of the screen.
Did we lose you? I saw your pointer. I think they were wondering where the access point will be.
So from Randall Mill, you take Trinity Court. So your existing route would be right here. I don't know if you can see my pointer.
Mm-hmm.
During this phase, they're building temporary pavement off to the side. So you can still access it while they're doing that. Then in the next phase, they're building the connection while you're driving on temporary pavement to access it. So
Okay, so there will be.
that's how you access it. Yes.
Okay, and then another question. Our driveway is being changed. It is our only way to exit our property. I'm concerned about that. Do you have an address or kind of a location of where, Ronnie, you are talking about? We may have to come back to that one, Bert. I don't have a location yet for that.
Okay. And if 7204. Okay, let's see. That's my Google Maps. There it is. Was this? Okay, so this is, yeah, I know who this is. So yeah, that one's a very tight driveway, and we're gonna have to work with the contractor to make sure that you have access there, but we'll make sure that they do. I'll go ahead and meet with you guys individually and the contractor to make sure he has a plan for that.
And then a question about where the sidewalk will start and end. Is there more than one sidewalk? Do we need more? Do you need more to answer that?
I can kind of show you where the sidewalks are going to go, if that's the question. So on Randall Mill, there'll be a sidewalk here, east of Territory Trail, on the south side. continuing on until Williams Road. At Williams Road, there's a sidewalk on the east side and the west side. On the south side of Williams Road, then there'll be a crossing up to the trails, up to the park trails here. Then there'll be a sidewalk on the east side of the project on the north side of Randol Mill at Flyaway Lane and Goldeneye. And then, as I said, sidewalks on both sides of Williams Road. You can see here. And sidewalks on Territory Trail where we connect to Territory Trail. So that's basically the extent of the sidewalks.
Thank you.
This is the bigger picture. So sidewalks here, trails here. Sidewalk comes down here, over here, and both sides of the street here.
What color is that for the sidewalk?
It's light blue, cyan.
Okay. Okay. I don't have any new question. Oh, Greg, go right ahead.
No, I have nothing.
Bert, another sidewalk question. This one, will there be sidewalks in front of the Mallard Cove neighborhood?
No, let me flip back to that one. So we connect to the existing sidewalk east of Flyaway Lane. So we'll be adding the sidewalk here, and then it'll connect to the trails to the west, but then we're connecting to the existing on the east.
I'm not seeing a question in the chat that's new. You are welcome to unmute and ask questions. We welcome questions and want to get you the information you need. Bert, we lost your slides. Are you done sharing?
Yeah, I'm done sharing.
Oh, okay.
If there's any questions, I can reshare, but if I sounded quiet, so.
Are there plans to address the curve on the east side of Goldeneye?
Let me pull that back up then. Hang on a second. We are not, our project does not extend east of Goldeneye. No, if there's a something to something that's concerning you east of GoldenEye, that's not part of our project. Basically, we're stopping right at GoldenEye and to the west.
Sharon, if there are concerns about folks going too fast or there have been accidents, the city has
Well,
ways of addressing if there's been issues or need a traffic study.
well, my concern is I had an accident this summer, turning left onto GoldenEye. I mean, onto Randall Mill from GoldenEye. When it's mowed there, you can see, but if there's a little strip of there where it gets real grassy and it's a real short curve, people come around real fast and it can be a blind curve. You can't see traffic coming around that curve until they're right on you. Fortunately, mine was just they got my front bumper, but still, it was an accident. So, that can be a little bit of blind curve. So that's my concern. Is there any plan in the future to address that part of the roadway and kind of straighten that curve out?
So I am putting my email address right now in the chat. If you want to send me the location and particulars that you're talking about and whether or not it's only when it's not mowed, to make sure and look at where that location is. The My Fort Worth app is a great app to have on your phone to be able to report issues, whether it's lights out, signs, flashing lights near schools, water, you name it. The city uses that to have residents report things in that go directly onto the field. I don't know if that one falls under that, but I'm just making sure folks know about that resource. But yes, if you want to email me some details on that, I can check in with our folks. We have a customer solutions team, and or if we need to do something, have a better look at that area, just send me the info.
Well, and Miss Ingram, I've been talking to Lauren a little bit about this. So the traffic on Randall Mill is averaging about 50 to 60 miles an hour again. We're having quite a few wrecks. We had a fatality, I think, early in the summer. It's getting a little bit crazy, and now the historic Randall Mill Valley Estates, they've had somebody drive through their off the road of Randall Mill and through their brick wall fence twice. So we might be reaching a point where maybe we need to do a community meeting at large about the greater Randall Mill plan. Many of our residents, because we've had probably 3,000 homes built along Randall Mill in the past 20 years. Many of them don't remember the old vision for the road, where it's headed, and so much of the TPW department has changed that it might be time for a greater Randall Mill traffic study for 2025 / update to the community of what the vision is, and maybe even bring in the NPOs to start beefing up patrols again. It has definitely escalated as a community group. Us and the John T. White Neighborhood Association are pushing the My Fort Worth app heavily, but
Yeah.
we're not able to capture enough of the concerns of what people are experiencing on Randall Mill right now. And while I know that doesn't tie to what Bert's got on with this project, it definitely seems like we've come to a point where we need to maybe lead some discussions again.
Well, and I'm sure you are probably at some of the bond meetings where we are showing roadways and areas of town that you can be voting on, but also our map transportation plan will be going into adoption later this fall, or that's the plan. This winter. And I can check in with our planning arm of Transportation and Public Works to see. I don't know if Randall Mill, that larger corridor, is part of that, and I'm not for sure if anyone of my colleagues on here.
I believe the last time I talked to Kelly, it wasn't, but it might warrant just some long-term vision and conversations at least.
Sure.
When I moved here in 2004, that there's that strip of roadway in front of our neighborhood. That's not used. But the reason it was put there is because most of us were told that Randall was at some point going to become a at least with a turn lane all the way through, or a 4-lane road. And over the years, that plan has been scrapped many times. So I agree with Benjamin that I think it's really time to just kind of readdress, because the traffic has gotten really bad, and it is like a little speedway. So that would be, I think that's the concern of a lot of us. It's just the traffic has gotten bad. It's hard to get in and out of our neighborhood safely.
And I will definitely take that back. Lauren is out this week. She had a death in the family, but we will, I'll touch base with our planning team and check back on that bond list too, and see what we need to do. And we did actually just meet within the last month or two with all of the neighborhood police officers. So we really open up those lines of communication. If you wanted to send me your NPO, since you probably know them and have contact info, I can also check in with our transportation management group on any requests they've had from over in that area. Or if they're looking at any sort of traffic study or calming methods.
Happy to do so. Thank you. I think we got one more question sliding in while Sharon and I were taking the mic.
Yeah, I see that question. I'm going to share again. It's regarding water ponding at Goldeneye. So let me share the screen. So this shows the construction at Goldeneye and Randall Mill. So we're not doing a whole lot. We're just basically connecting back to the existing pavement. So the gray is the new pavement. This would be asphalt asphalt transition pavement. The dark gray, the light gray is concrete replacement. So I'm not sure where the drainage issue is, but unless it's in this corner, then we're not, as we show it now, we're not doing anything else. So if you can, maybe let me know what corner. I guess it's been raining. I could go out and look at it, but as it currently stands, this is all that we're doing at Goldeneye. Has there been a follow-up on that?
It just says in front of Goldeneye Lane where it meets Randall Mill Road.
Yeah, so if it's on the west side, we are doing some improvements there. So that could be perhaps regraded. If it's on the east side, then it's not in our plans currently.
So Bert, the flooding that's happening, if you go from the G of Goldeneye all the way out to Randall Mill, it's a pooling spot there. That's also the death trap for getting onto Randall Mill that Sharon was referencing. Right. It might warrant, I mean, just 20 more feet of road before we merge in, which I know this is designed, but it might warrant a little bit of study for that piece of how this all ties together, because that's a blind, painful spot that is a water accumulator and also a really hard corner to pull onto the road with the speeding traffic. Yeah.
Okay.
And it goes right up to the McDaniels property. They're the homeowners to the border our property on that end. Okay. And it's, yeah, rain and dry there's some gravel that builds up there, so you get spin outs trying to get onto the road at full speed that everyone's driving. Just that whole corner as being a project perimeter might end up being less helpful than helpful with all the great things we're doing with the rest of the project.
Okay. I'll take a look at that. Yep.
And also, Bert, my email's in this thread. I'm actively engaged with quite a few city personnel. I've been council appointee to things, so I'm happy to meet you or connect or communicate best I can. We really appreciate all that y'all have got on this. We've been excited about this project since since it was going to be a $3 million thing, way back when. So I saw the budget's up to 10 million, but we're still excited to have it all happen.
Bert, I'm not seeing any more questions in the chat. If anyone else had questions, please feel free to unmute.
Well, it sounds like that will be it then. I see people dropping off. But you can, if you have my contact information, and you have further questions that come up after the meeting, feel free to give me a holler or email me, and we'll get back to you. And I appreciate everyone. We had good turnout this meeting. I appreciate everyone coming, and appreciate your interest in the project.
Thank you.
I'd comment, this is a good format for this.